Are Corsair pre-built PCs still good in 2025, especially with the crazy DDR5 prices right now? Well, if you're planning on buying one, then make sure to watch the full video because I'm gonna be going over everything from the unboxing experience to the setup, performance, and more to determine if this system is worth your hard-earned money. Welcome to episode 2 of Is It Still Good? Full disclosure, Corsair and Intel sent this PC out and sponsored this video. However, I am not reviewing the PC they sent me. I'm gonna review the PC I bought on Amazon, and this is to make sure that they didn't cherry pick the system for me. So with that said, let's unbox this bad boy. Okay, so first up we are greeted with their unpacking instructions. We'll put this aside for now and remove the rest of the stuff. Box of accessories. Just the usual leftover stuff. We got the PC power cable, remainder cables from the power supply, and then we got the Wi-Fi antenna. Let's see if I'm gonna get shocked this time. I've actually oh! I just got shocked, okay. All right, maybe that's a foreshadow for the rest of the video. Hey, I didn't get shocked this time. I'm already feeling good about this. Okay, so it looks like they are using the InstaFoam packing, very nice. Just one massive piece of foam to hold all the components in place. Got the pump cover stuck on here.
That's what she said.
Oh no, Corsair, no! Why did you put a 240 in here when you could easily fit in a 360? Okay, we're jumping the gun here. Okay, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Let's continue the visual inspection. I'm getting a little too excited here. This is a bizarre GPU sag bracket, but you know what? Safety first, so I can't complain. Okay, after a thorough and very careful inspection, I have found zero cosmetic damages anywhere in the PC. So for packing and shipping, I'm gonna give Corsair a pass. Okay, here we go. First boot. Okay, all the fans are spinning. We got no RGB on the top two fans, but I think we just might need to open up IQ for that to work. Look at that, first try. Okay, so after about a 30-minute setup process, it took me straight to the desktop. I didn't experience any issues or crashes. Overall, a very smooth process. So I'm gonna give Corsair a pass on the first boot. Drivers were the next thing I checked out, starting off with the NVIDIA app. And it does seem like there was a new driver available. And upon further investigation, it seems like this PC was built back in June of 2025. So it's been sitting in a warehouse somewhere for over 5 months, hence why the drivers have not been up to date. Not a big deal. I went ahead and updated it and checked out the remainder drivers, and it does seem like they did update everything else from the chipset to the Wi-Fi drivers, so for that, I will give Corsair a pass. Okay, let's talk about pricing. So this is the Corsair Vengeance i7500, and they have a ton of different models with different configurations. However, this one specifically sports an Intel Core i9 14900KF processor with 32 gigs of DDR5 memory at 6,000 megatransfers and the PNY RTX 5090. You don't normally hear about Intel CPUs in 2025, but we do have one of their best chips in the PC. The 14th gen Raptor Lake Refresh CPUs were peak Intel, and even till today, it remains as one of their best gaming CPUs in the market. So you're definitely getting a powerful system here, but the question is, how much more are they charging you compared to if you were to build it yourself? Well, for starters, this PC for some reason has two different prices. On Corsair's own website, it's going for $3,300, but on Amazon, it's $100 less. So I'm gonna take the lowest price for comparison. If you were to buy the parts separately and build this exact same PC, it would cost you $2,621 as of today, which means you are paying a premium of $679 for an already pre-built PC, which honestly is a bit steep even in today's market with the high DDR5 prices. Personally, I would say anywhere between $200 to $400 extra for a pre-built PC is acceptable. Anything over that just seems a little high. So for value, I'm giving the Corsair Vengeance PC a mid rating. Now onto the software and apps, and this is where I was a little annoyed because I found out that iQue was not pre-installed, which I found bizarre considering the PC is using Corsair components. And iQue is the most common way of changing the RGB lights and also updating the firmware of the components. To make matters worse, the RGB lighting on the top two fans didn't even work. These fans belong to the Nautilus 240 AIO, and these don't have a separate iQue controller, so you can't use iQue to customize the lighting. Instead, they are controlled with the motherboard software or by using a third-party RGB software. So I thought, you know what the hell? Let me just download MSI Mystic Lite. And to be clear, I'd rather drink Prime than to download MSI Mystic Lite, but I wanted to see if that was going to fix the issue. The software doesn't even seem to recognize the fans. So at this point, I started to wonder if it's a hardware issue. So I dug a little deeper, and to my surprise, one of the RGB cables were disconnected. It must have came apart during shipment. So I went ahead and plugged it back in, and bam, we were back on track. Obviously, I'm not gonna take off points for this because it can easily be fixed. Now, there were two other apps that came pre-installed with the PC. Corsair Diagnostics was the first one, and this is actually a pretty useful utility that tests all of your components to make sure they are running fine. And there's even a built-in stress test for all the components. And the second one is called Corsair Vengeance PC, which is just a shortcut that takes you to the help page on their website. So overall, I would say Corsair did a great job shipping the PC without much bloatware, so I'm gonna give them a pass. What surprised me, however, was that XMP, or the Extreme Memory Profile, was enabled. I went into the task manager and found that the memory was running at its advertised frequency, 6,000 megatransfers. I was shocked because the last pre-built I checked out on the channel didn't do this. So, well done, Corsair. Resize bar was also enabled in the BIOS to make sure the system is not leaving any extra performance on the table. However, I was a little disappointed to see that the power plan was left unbalanced. If you're not running any X3D chips in your PC, you always want to set the power plan to high performance or ultimate performance if available. However, I feel like this setting is tied to Microsoft directly, and every time you set up a new PC, it just defaults to balanced either way. So I can't take any points off for that, thus giving Corsair a pass for optimization. Aesthetics, I'm not too thrilled about. Like, on one side, I'm really happy they stuck to a single color scheme, but on the other end, the part selection doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, first off, why throw in a 240 AIO in here when the case supports a 360? But aside from that, we have a high TDP CPU in here, so a 360 AIO would have offered better cooling. Second, like what is this? Who thought it would be a great idea to route the 16-pin cable above the GPU when it would have looked so much cleaner towards the bottom? The funny thing is, on both listings, like on Amazon and Corsair's website, it shows the cable going under the GPU. Also, the sag bracket is an absolute eyesore, but I can't really take points off of that because it does serve a purpose in preventing damage during shipment. And plus, it's easily removable, so it's not a big deal. Cable management, however, is excellent. Really good work bundling the excess cables together using zip ties and routing them in a very clean path. I couldn't be more proud. I mean, I would have preferred to see reverse blade fans on the side instead of using regular flans and flans. I would have preferred to see reverse blade fans on the side instead of normal fans flipped backwards, and maybe a cheap cable extension kit, but overall, not a bad looking PC. I'm gonna give it a mid rating. And now, performance, which is my favorite segment of the video. I have no doubt this PC will perform because we have a 14900KF processor in here, which is a beast when it comes to gaming and productivity, especially if you're planning on doing a lot of AI projects. We got a total of 24 cores in here, split between 8 performance and 16 efficient cores with a max turbo clock of 6 GHz. So with that said, let's kick off the performance test with Battlefield 6. Okay, here it is. Raw performance, ladies and gents. 1440p, ultra settings. Oh my god, he's got ran over by a tank. We are pushing over 150 frames per second. Nice. 180 frames? No way. Nice try. Let's go. Oh no! They found me. They found me. Cooked. Help is on the way. Bro, what? Temps are actually doing really good too. 52C peak on the graphics card and 75C on the CPU. Very nice temps. And now for the sound test for the PC. Here we go. Performance, as expected, was very impressive. No lag or stuttering. I mean, with these specs, I can pretty much run any game I want in 1440p maxed out settings with or without frame gen enabled. So I will give the PC a pass. Same with the thermals. The CPU and GPU stayed very cool with low peak temps. No thermal throttling was present with a neutral fan configuration as well. Pass. And finally, let's take a look at their warranty and return policy. So we do have the standard 2-year hardware warranty from the day of purchase, and this covers any replacements or repairs at Corsair's expense. However, they may provide a new or refurbished products if a replacement is not available. The one thing I don't like is that you have to pay for shipping and handling to get the system sent back to Corsair, but that's pretty standard in the industry. Now for returns and refunds, you actually get 60 calendar days to return an item from the date that you received it, which is really good considering most other places only offer like a 30-day return policy. So it's nice that you get an extension from Corsair. However, this only applies if you buy it directly from Corsair. If you bought it from Amazon, then it would be accordance to their return policy, which I believe is only 30 days. Now, they will refund you the amount that you spent, including sales tax. However, the return shipping fees will not be refunded. Unfortunately, you will eat those. I think the warranty and return policy is more than fair at Corsair, which is why I'm giving them a pass. So, is a Corsair pre-built PC still good in 2025? I honestly think so. It's a solid system, it's built well using quality components, and the PC is set up and ready to go without having to do much tinkering in Windows. The only two issues I had with the PC was the price and some of the part selection. I would have loved to see a 360mm AIO in here, especially given the total cost and the components in here. Like, we're not cooling an i5, which would have sufficed. We have an i9 in here. As far as value, I still do think this is priced a little higher compared to other pre-built companies, which, I mean, I guess it's understandable considering you're buying from a reputable brand. However, buying the parts separately and building it yourself might seem like a more attractive option for some. So with all that into consideration, I'm giving the Corsair Vengeance i7500 pre-built system a good rating. It could be great, but with all things considered, I'm giving it a good rating. I will drop a link below if you guys want to check out the PC, but also let me know in the comment section what other pre-built PC I should review next. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next one.